What up, my dogs? We are back again with another coding exercise from the site Codewars.com. Gonna break another one down for you folks. This is sorting the odd way, a Java exercise from Codewars.com. And yeah, I'm doing Java this time, not Python, so make a note of that. This is a good exercise here. Stay tuned, pay attention. Given an array of numbers, sort them in such a manner that the odd numbers in the array are sorted in ascending order, and the even numbers are sorted in descending order after the last odd number. For example, and they give you an array, consecutive numbers 1 through 9, and that produces the output of what's shown right there. I'm not going to go through all the numbers. If the array contains decimals, round them down while checking for odd even. Output must have the original numbers. So let's break down what is needed in this exercise. You're going to be given an array of numbers, and what you got to do is you've got to determine odds and even numbers within the array, and the odd numbers will be sorted in ascending order first, and then the even numbers will be sorted in descending order. Looking at the second array, you can see the difference that has taken place. All the odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 have been grouped together and sorted and put early in the array, and all the even numbers, 8, 6, 4, 2, have been sectioned together and put at the end of the array. So it's odds first, sorted ascending, least to greatest, and then at the end of the array it is evens, sorted from greatest to least. So this is you got to sort, and then you got to do some grouping, and then of course put these into an array. So there's a lot going on here, and it's a good practice exercise for you and for me. Absolutely. Given the amount of code that has to be done for this, I went ahead and typed it up already. Instead of what I usually do, which is typing it live, I've gone ahead and put it into online GDB so you can see all the code, and I'll be able to run a demo for you once I explain the code. So I'll bring this sucker over here and get started explaining the process of this jump. Okay. So here we are, and sorted out is the name of the method, and it's going to accept a double array, and it's going to return a double array, and that's notable here because you're given doubles, and it's saying you've got to find evens and odds, and you got to sort. Determining if a double is even or odd, you really need to convert it to an integer to do so, and we'll see that very soon. Some of you can already see it already in the code if you're a student, you're reading through, but we'll get to that in a little while, probably a few seconds. Okay, so first getting into the body of the method, we've got the creation of two array lists. Creating an array list for evens and odds. Of course, these are going to hold the groupings of the even and odd numbers from the original array. I'm creating array lists because I don't know how many evens or odds I'm going to have. So I can't create an array or arrays for evens and odds because I don't know how many there are. Array lists are, of course, resizable. They can be any size, and you can add or remove. So the array list would be the data type here. So two array lists, one for evens and one for odds. And of course, they're going to be double because they need to hold double data type. And then we have a loop here. And the purpose of this loop is to go through the original array and go through the original array one by one and determine if each number is even or odd. And really, this is going to separate the numbers by evens and odds and put them into the array lists. So we loop the length of the array, the original array, and a first conditional says I'm using the math floor method, and that is going to round down. If you remember in the instructions, it says if you get a decimal, you need to round it down to determine if it's even or odd, and that's what I'm doing here. I am taking the element and using math floor to round it down to an integer, and then I'm doing modulo 2 equals 0, that condition, to see if it's even. So this if statement is going to see if the number is even, and if it is, it's going to be added to the evens array list. If it's not even, it's going to be added to the odds array list. And that is that loop. Going down a little bit to these two lines right here. I'm using the collections utility class in Java to do the sorting. You remember from the instructions, or you may remember that there's a need for sorting. I need to sort the evens in descending order from greatest to least. I need to sort the odds from in ascending order from least to greatest. So here I sort in descending order the evens, and here I sort in ascending order the odds. So I've got the two array lists sorted. So I'm like, I guess you could say halfway there. I've got my numbers sorted now. They're still separated. I need to bring them together. And this next process down here is going to be bringing them together. Yes, yes. I got the morning groggy voice going on. What up, what up, what up? Okay. And that's what happens in this last section here. In this last section, what I'm going to do is I'm taking the evens array list and the odds array list, putting them together into the same array, and then returning that array. First, create an integer index, make it equal to 0. I'm going to be using this integer to index into the original array. See, what I'm going to do here is to combine these two array lists. I'm not going to create another array. I'm just going to use the original array for, I guess you could say, efficiency's sake, where, yeah, I could create another array and combine these two array lists into it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use the original array and just overwrite the elements of the original array. And I'm using index to index into that array. Got a loop right here where I'm going to loop the length of the odds array, because the odds array list, those elements are going into the array first. So we're going to tackle that one first. So I'll loop the length of that, and then I'm going to put each element of the odds into the original array. That's what I'm doing in this loop. And then I'm going to move the index of the array list, move the index of the original array forward. After this first while loop, I'm going to have all my odds in the original array. and then I move on to the evens. And this is the section where I put in the evens, where create an integer I equal to 0, and I'm using this integer to index into the evens array list. I've already got it indexed into the original array, and it's going to keep the same place because I'm moving forward. Moving forward through both of these, but the original array needs to keep its place where from where it was in the last loop. Like if the odds ended at index 3, I'm going to start the evens at index 4, like continuing on. So I'm using the same variable to index. But evens, I'm using a different variable because I need to start the evens array list. I need to start indexing there at index 0. So that's why I'm using different variables here. So for each of the evens, I'm going to place it, of course, into the array list. For each of the evens, I'm going to place it into the original array. Getting my words mixed up here. This is the original array. And after that placement, I am going to increment the index for the evens array list and increment the index for the original array. So of course, they're both moving forward after each copy happens. And then after that, this is done, folks. I've got my odds in there, I've got my evens in there at the end, and I just returned that original array. Sound good? Also forgot to mention that at the top, you've got to import Java util for the ArrayList data type. And I've got a main method here where I'm going to go ahead and test this for y'all before I put it in Codewars and run those tests. So on line 38 here, and if you can't see it, this is the line I'm talking about. I run the method where I create a double array to put the output of the method into, where sorted out is the method. I run the method and I supply it a double array consisting of the numbers 1 through 9, just like the instructions. Remember the instructions had 1 through 9 as the sample input? Well, I'm doing 1 through 9 here. Note that the D after each one of these means double. In Java, this is how you can designate a double explicitly. I could also do like 1.0, 2.0, but I didn't want to do that. So these are all doubles and they're going to be supplied. And the outcome is that it's going to be sorted according to the instructions once it comes out. So the output is going to be this sorted array. And then I'm going to print it out using the arrays toString method. If you don't know that, know about that, the arrays toString, it is a utility method in the utility class arrays that allows you to print an array using the print statement. Or actually, it turns an array into a string. That's really what it is. Turns an array into a string, and then you can print it out. Or do whatever else you want with it. All right, I will run. And by the way, if I did not say this, I'm using online GDB as the IDE right here. This is a web-based IDE that I use quite often. Very convenient. So shout out to online GDB. Keep it going, folks. Let's run. Alrighty. So we get our double output, and inspecting this, we see that it is sectioned off and sorted. So here are your odds, here are your evens, where we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Odds are sorted in ascending order. I'll put a little A there. And then you have 8, 6, 4, 2 evens sorted in a descending order. That's a big fat ass check, folks. And very good. So that's good, that's good. So now I'm going to put it into Codewars and we'll do the tests there. Where is it? It's right here. And I've already taken the liberty of copying the code in here. Java code can be long. I'm sure there's a much shorter way to do this that I'm going to see when I submit, but let's test it out. Long time. It passed, of course. And it passes here. Yeah. Good job, good job. So that's that. So I'll show you, don't need to show you that. Where is the code? There. Usually like to get all the code on the screen to show you, but this is, the type is so large that I can't really do that, but this is what you got. So we have sorting the odd way, I think that's the name of it. Another Codewars exercise done in Java in Codewars. And that is it for me, my dudes. And with that, I am out of here. See ya.